I would like to welcome Konstantinos Efthymiopoulos, Chairman and Managing Director of BioEleSonic, a portfolio company of ESGTI. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Maybe you can start by telling us, what do you consider the key growth drivers or needs in the life sciences sector today?
These are developments in the technology and innovation, and also the medical needs which are present, but some which are emerging. An example of an emerging need is that of COVID-19, where we have seen this need for diagnostic tests, but also for protective equipment, masks, gloves, respiratory support equipment are examples of medtech, which we had to develop very quickly in order to face this pandemic. Personalization in healthcare is another continuous need. And the example there is the companion diagnostics that are being developed. Other drivers could be the desire to expand innovation in the emerging markets and the government efforts, which are trying to make this happen. We have seen the need to expand vaccination in those countries, but it goes hand in hand with the need to have the medtech equipment that will help us face the pandemic. There is also the development in the new innovation, the artificial intelligence, the data mining technologies, the wearable devices, which are increasingly present in our lives. These are some of the needs, the drivers of growth in our sector.
Thank you. Can you also shed some light on the key growth constraints and risks within the sector?
Perhaps the first that comes to mind is the new regulatory requirements, especially in Europe. We have new legislation that it is making clinical development more lengthy and extensive, and consequently more costly. This makes the certification process longer. We have noticed how globalization can be a curse in some cases with this shortage in supply chain that we have experienced. And obviously, there is a desire to make our technology to more ESG, which means that we are more and more mindful of being able to recycle, to be ecologically friendly. And this, of course, is coming with constraints and costs.
Thank you. You've already touched upon regulations. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit more on any other regulations and government initiatives which you feel will have the largest impact on the further development of the sector?
Yes, this new European Union medical device regulation that came to effect last year is a very significant change in the way that we operate and commercialize medical technology. There is also the constraints that are imposed by governments in the, let's call it, war between the US and China, the transfer of the technology. There is also challenges in the implementation of IP protection in some countries. China is another example of situations where IP is not protected as it should be. And there is also the, on the positive side, the partnerships that academic institutions continue having with the industry, with companies. We are fortunate in Switzerland with two institutions like the BFL and the Polytechnic of Zurich, EPFZ, these are a continuous source of startup in the medtech sector. And it is really something that makes innovation and the medtech sector in Switzerland flourishing.
In this context, could you talk a little bit about the technologies that BioEleSonic focuses on?
In BioEleSonic, we have a proprietary technology which is based on what we call precisely modulated acoustic energy. And this technology is able to activate the natural defenses of our body in situations like nasal congestion and pain, and provide relief in patients that need it. It is a technology that is used in devices that are handheld, they are not invasive, and they have been really decided with the patient in mind and the convenience of the patient in mind, not only the efficacy and of course the safety. This precisely modulated acoustic energy produces waves which are generated by sophisticated electronics. It travels non-invasively through the tissues of in this case, the sinuses and the nose, and it increases blood flow in the areas that are needed to help healing and block pain signals and release the symptoms of congestion. The technology that we are having is consistent with ESG, is a technology that is not polluting. It is a technology that it is not creating waste. The batteries are rechargeable. The device is reusable. And we believe that it is a reflection of the medical devices of the future as they are going to become more and more.
Thank you. And in the broader context, what role do you think ESG holds within the life science sector today?
I think there are in two levels. One is at the corporate level, because the pharma and biotech companies as corporations, they have the willingness and also an interest to be ESG compliant, and we see in their actions, in their annual reports, that every company in the life sciences, pharma, biotech, medtech, all have very highly in their agenda the ESG issues. But then in the everyday, we have to think and we try to maximize the effort to reduce the carbon footprint, to reduce the hospital waste. That's in terms of pollution. We try to make this more accessible to as many patients as broadly as possible all over the world. And we try to make it more quality driven. It is already a very high quality industry, medtech, but we try to increase quality as much as possible.
Konstantinos Efthymiopoulos, Chairman and Managing Director of BioEleSonic, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.